All right, we're talking about playing rhythm in open position and playing rhythm in different keys, how chords are derived, and how to use that information to play by ear. So today we're going to look at the key of D. Now the key of D is a really popular one on the guitar. The one chord in the key of D obviously is a D chord. And that chord is the one chord derived from the scale of D major. So all the notes of the D major chord come from the D major scale. The same thing holds true for the 4 chord. G and all of the notes of the 4 chord also come from the D major scale. The notes are G, B, and D, and those notes are the 4th degree, the 6th degree, and the 8th degree, or whatever, or the 1 of the D major scale. So the 1 chord of D in the key of D is D. The 4 chord is G, and the 5 chord, D, E, F, G, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is A. Now, what we want to do more and more is not name the chords by their letter names, but instead think of a key and name the chords by their function, by their numbering, by their number within that key. 1 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord, and 1 chord. The reason we want to do this is because a numbering system isn't key sensitive. It's going to give you a lot more information using a numbering system than you'll ever get by trying to memorize a whole bunch of chord letter names. Chord letter names really are only there to give you an indication of how the chord is spelled. They are not there to give you an indication of how the chord is functioning in that key. And that's where we want to go, because that's going to lead your ear to the place where you can play by ear. And on that note, let's do a simple tune. We're going to do You Are My Sunshine. And as you're watching this video, I want you to do this. I'm going to sing and play this simple tune. Remember, I'm not playing all my favorite songs. I'm playing songs that we have in common, that most of us have in common. So you'll know the melody. And I want you to point out while you're watching this, with your hand, you're going to have a 1, a 4, or a 5. You're going to try to think ahead to where the progression is going to go. If it's going to go to the 4 chord, or if it's going to go to the 5 chord, or if it's going to go to the 1 chord, right? You've only got those 3 choices right now. So we start on the 1. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, for much I want for. Please don't take my sunshine away. Okay, so very simple chord progression. I played a 1 to a 4, 1 to a 4, finally back to 1, and then to 5, and then to 1. So that is not going to change. Those numbers are never going to change, and let's demonstrate that. Let's move to the key of G and do exactly the same little tune with the 1, 4, 5 in the key of G. So here I am in the key of G. The 1 chord is G, you know, again, coming from now the G major scale, right? 1 chord. My 4 chord, G, A, B, C. And my 5 chord, D, G, A, B, C, D. So my 1, 4, and 5 in the key of G are G, C, D, and G. All right. Now, remembering that You Are My Sunshine when 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 5, let's see what happens with this key. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. chord and back to one chord. Please don't take my sunshine away. All right, so you can, now, very interesting what happened there. It's a little high for me in that key, right? And that's why we want to learn how to play in keys, because so much of this this material is going to be vocal material. The stuff that you're wanting to play, even the stuff that you're writing. You know, you can change keys and try new possibilities. And another thing about the guitar is it's a key-sensitive instrument, and some keys work beautifully on the guitar, and others don't work quite as beautifully. And so we want to be able to use, to have a relationship with each of the keys that we play in. So let me just take a moment to recap what we're talking about here. So first of all, chords come from scales. We looked at the key of D, and the 1, 4, 5 in the key of D is D, 4, G, 5A, and 1 D. And the same thing holds true for the key of G. The 1 chord is G, the 4 chord is C, the 5 chord is D, and the 1 chord is G. We could go through lots of different keys. We could do the same thing with the key of A. 1 chord is A, 4 chord is D, 5 chord is E, and 1 chord is A. But actually, in the key of A, if that's actually a tone above G. So if I'm going to start doing, if G was already high for me, I'm actually in the key of A, I'm going up a tone, and so that's going to be even higher. So I'm not even going to bother making a fool of myself one more time by trying to sing that in the key of A, unless I drop down a whole octave. You are my sunshine. You see, you get the idea, right? If I went up the octave, you are my sunshine, and so on. So each key has its own qualities, and not only qualities in terms of the song that you're going to sing or perform or whatever the case is, but also their own qualities on the instrument. They'll have certain weaknesses and certain strengths. So on that note, this is what I'm suggesting you do, very strongly suggesting, is get a relationship with each key that you're playing in. Stop learning chords like one at a time and start to group them in 1, 4, 5s. Just as you would learn a phone number, in the key of D, your chords are, D, bang. You just know what those chords are in that key. You don't even have to think about it. You don't have to count them off. You don't have to do anything like that. You know what the 1, 4, 5 is in that key. Same as G, right? 1, 4, 5. Same as A. And all of the open keys should be that way for you. Should translate in that way immediately, so that you can think of keys and harmonize melodies, whatever those melodies are. So today we just looked at this You Are My Sunshine, and I suggest you try it on your own. This is really about real-time ear training and functional harmony. Functional harmony meaning putting notes together that will work in certain ways, and in this case, this whole idea of 1, 4, 5 chord progressions. Functional harmony. And do that yourself at home, and do it in these 5 keys. Do it in C, A, G, E, and D, caged, those open keys. So the 1, 4, 5 in the key of C will be C, F, G. Caged A in the key of A will be A, D, E. In the key of G will be G, C, D. In the key of E will be E, A, B, and you can use a B7. And in the key of D, they will be D, G, and A.